right, so there is a quick update which has reached our decks of pinaxtv, and this is a very sad update. We are learning that just after a few days of Davido's wedding, we are learning that a Nigeria tech billionaire is dead. Now, the details of this is a bit sad because apparently this man happens to be the former Konga CEO. His name is Nick Imwadia. For those of you who will be saying that's not the pronunciation, please pardon me, I'm not a Nigerian. But currently, details on our desk suggest that the former chief executive officer of Konga, one of Nigeria's e-commerce giants, whose name is Nick Imwadia, has reportedly committed suicide at his home. Now, according to reports, Imwadia who was until his death the CEO of D-Light, a leading innovator in the distribution and financing of residential solar energy solutions and transformational household products, reportedly took his own life on Tuesday night, that's June 25th, after he jumped from his balcony at his Lekki house in Lagos apartment. Now, the report further goes on to say that the incident which happened, or before the incident happened, he had called his US-based brother to give him instructions on as to how he should distribute his wealth if anything happens to him. Now, he also apparently called his young daughter from a previous relationship and told her he would always be there for her, and that all she needed to do was to look in the sky and she would see him. Now, friends and family and associates of Fred Imwadia are still in shock after learning about the sad demise and also his apparent suicide. Now, from the Ika South local government area of Delta State, Nick was previously married to the mother of his young daughter, who was also from the same local government with him. The marriage ended due to irreconcilable difference. Before Konga, Nick had stints with TCL Alcatel as regional director and Microsoft Device and Services as the GM/MD of the West Africa Central. As MD for West and Central Africa. So the word here is irreconcilable or irreconcilable. Forgive me, but the spelling here is something else. So that is exactly what we are learning. Pardon me with the spelling mistakes. And this is a sad thing. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking also their questions if this man's death was an apparent suicide or perhaps it was a murder. What is really happening, you see?
Okay, so this is actually a sad one. I mean, on 25th, we knew Lagos was buzzing. Lagos was turning up, yes, because of Davido 2024. And we knew that most of the billionaires, right from the former president of Nigeria to the current president's son to the big dons, I mean, the billionaires in Nigeria were actually repping. Only for us to find out in the evening or the eve of the wedding of Davido, that same 25th night, that a billionaire has also committed suicide, which is very sad. Now, like you said, the incident took place at his house at Lekki in Lagos, where he jumped his balcony. Now, some of the questions people are actually asking currently is the fact that could it be some sort of depression? Could it be that it's some kind of mental instability? You know, when we talk about mental instability, people normally attribute it to madness or something, but it goes beyond that.
But you know the question that a lot of people are also asking. People are asking, was this an apparent murder? Was this an apparent homicide? Was someone behind it? Because how would you tell me that a billionaire of his caliber, a man who was worth billions of dollars. Now, this man, for those of you guys who don't know, research we did about this man suggests that he was part of the early status of this whole tech innovations in Lagos, you know. So, if we were to emulate what this man has done, like in Ghana, we should be talking about the CEO of Fido Loans. We should be talking about those who brought about the Haptel. We should be talking about, so those were the early starters of tech, and he's worth billions. He has a lot of ties with a lot of people across board, not just in Africa but also across board. So the big question that people are asking is, why will this man, with all his world power and with all that he has got in this world, he just gets up on the evening of Davido's death. He said, "Hey, I've had enough of the whole wide world. I'm not happy. Something is bothering me." And he calls his friend in the US and tells his friend that, "Hey, if something happens to me, this and this and this is what you should do. I have this property here. Give this to this. Give this to that." Instructions as to how that friend should distribute his wealth if he's dead. Then he proceeds to call his daughter, with whom apparently we are learning that the woman that friend married, they divorced. As I was saying, because of differences. So he called the daughter from that previous marriage, or from that previous marriage that he had with the mother, and he called the daughter to say, "Hey, I want to tell you something, that whatever happens, know that I'm going to be there for you." The daughter was like, "Daddy, what are you talking about?" He said, "See, anytime you are looking for me, or perhaps you want to feel my presence, just look into the sky and you do realize that I'm with you." And he hangs up the call, and then he calls the mother to tell the mother, "I love you," and then he proceeds to jump from a balcony. Now, there need to be investigations. His phone needs to be tracked. We need to tap into his system to know the prior conversations before and after. We need to do investigations for us to know if indeed this man death was a suicide or a homicide, or somebody was behind it, because we know that in this day and age we have cover up crimes. So these are the basic questions that people are asking, and it's fascinating. Why would he jump from his balcony? Was he intoxicated? Was he depressed? Was it because of a woman? Was it because of a failed business deal? What is happening? Well, so people are saying that this sounds more like a homicide, a murder, instead of an apparent suicide that people are thinking, or people are weighing in online and saying that it was a suicide.
Yeah, I think that's what is actually on the lips of a lot of people. Some think, and some are also raising concerns that, well, maybe it could be the burden of maintaining success, maybe coupled with some kind of personal struggles that he couldn't share with people.
Personal struggles.
Yes,
you're worth $1 billion.
No, it's not about billions. Sometimes people go through stuff. People go through hard, like people that are in the high portfolios and stuff. They go through issues that they can't even open up to people.
But he called his friend to tell the friend.
Yes, I can call you to tell you that share my properties, but I can't tell you the exact thing I'm going through. You can be in the workplace with somebody and the person is going through stuff. The person is facing a lot of challenges, but it would take only a bold person to come out and tell you that, hey, this is what I'm going through, or this is what is currently happening. What should I do? How should I face it? Okay, let's take it that someone was even threatening his life. How bold would he be to tell another person that someone is threatening my life, or this is what is going on actually with my life? And so if he doesn't get the courage and the confidence to let those things out, eventually the person might go through depression. That's how depression starts. The person will start thinking, what should I do? Should I give? A whole lot. Then you get depressed. It affects your mental state, and then a whole lot of things start coming to mind, which eventually, if you don't hold on to yourself, you might do something silly. So if it even homicide, like what people are saying, it could be that the person didn't directly push him off the balcony, but things that the person said, things that the person did behind closed doors, the threats that came to him, like other stuff that were pushed to him, that he felt like at this point, I'm at the edge, like I can't do anything again. Let me just take my life, and then that will be it. Like case die, everything is solved. Because looking at what you're even saying, for him to call and say, share my properties this way, meaning that there was more to it than we expected. So maybe the person might not push him directly from the balcony, but whatever somebody was putting him through, he couldn't get the confidence to let them out, and that is what has taken him. So it's a personal struggle he was going through, and it's not about your money. Maybe the person has even tried. If you let this person know.
So you don't believe that this was someone who, strategically killed this man, poisoned him, intoxicated him, pushed him off the balcony, and made it seem like it was something that we need to ask questions.
I'm sure that looking at it, if it was somebody that pushed him, we are talking about someone who is a billionaire.
Yeah.
There might definitely be security cameras.
And I want to ask a question. Yeah, I'm coming to that. But I want to ask a question. Why would the family members say before the man's death he had given instructions that we should share his properties? This rings. Someone said that this sounds an alarm that the family is after the properties because they already have a premeditated will that give this to this, give this to this. So they could easily. I'm not saying they concocted. They kind of skew the story, but then it could be in any other way. So could it be that the family had proud knowledge of this and were ready for this to happen, for them to quickly share what I don't
well,
think
we can't emphatically say that the family knew about this because one, he placed a lot of calls that day, and one thing I'm sure that if you are somebody that really follows this suicide cases, you realize that it's either the person is leaving a note. Normally, anybody that wants to commit suicide, there's this show that is done on, I think, I'm trying to remember the channel. It's not a Ghanaian channel actually that normally deals with this suicide issues and all. Yeah. Now the whole thing is that it's either the person is leaving a note, or the person is leaving something like to show you that this is what happened, or the person is actually calling you to say certain things that will put you unaware that no, this person is about to do something evil or something bad, something drastic that would affect him or her. Now you realize that they said he called to say that do this, do that, do this. So I'm sure per investigations, since the police picked up the body, and then definitely investigation will start right away because of the caliber of person he is. I'm sure they would have gone through his phone. I mean, to know that he placed a call to this person, he placed a call to that person, and then they would follow up from those people to know whatever transpired. And with issues like this, they can work together with the telecommunications, because I learned any conversations we have on our phones, they have them. Provided you send a letter and then like a please something to them, they can release those voices for you. So I'm sure the police will be the perfect people to let us know what is going right now. But for me personally, I feel like is some things that he has gone through and he wasn't able to let out. As big as he is, he feel like maybe coming out to talk might make people look down on him, or it might be all over the news
on social media.
So to protect his image and his fame and his name and his brand, he chose to keep quiet. So even if somebody was threatening his life, he still didn't say it. All
right, so I before we proceed, I want to ask this question. Do you think that this was should be ruled as a suicide?
Well, for now, that's what we can rule, because that's what we are hearing, that he jumped from his balcony. So for now, maybe we might just take it that it's a suicide until probably further investigation is being done and proved otherwise. That's when we can say maybe it was a homicide, or it was someone that murdered him or something. All right. So one thing too I'll say before we proceed is that we should start taking our mental health serious. If you have any issues, try and share it with someone. Try and talk it out. That's why ladies live longer. When something happens to a lady, they cry. Sometimes people think ladies are weak. Ladies are not weak. They let out unnecessary things out. So, for example, if a lady should break up with a boy, immediately the lady will start feeling the effect. She'll cry for 2 weeks, and the guy will just be walking around like, yeah, I'm the guy. But the guy will start reeling from the pain, just like medical, after months or weeks. Then before I realize it is track after track after track after track, just like what medical is experiencing. So that is it now.